Welcome to the first bos4g screen share. My name is Guido, your host, and today I'm going to show you how to make some geospatial data from scratch using geojson.io. It's a great website for easily editing and creating data. So I'm going to start off, I'm going to make a map of walks that I've taken in the last 2 days, and you'll see that it allows you to do a search for locations. So if you want to zoom in somewhere, personally I live in the Boston, Massachusetts area, and I'm just going to zoom into my neighborhood, which is in Somerville, and I like to go from walks starting from this location here, and then let's see, I think I went down this road. And basically, it's really simple, straight clicking. One single click will create a new line segment. And that's all I'm doing. If you hold the mouse button down, you can move the map around, which is also what I'm doing here. And then I'm just doing single clicks every so often to keep the line straight with the roads. It doesn't have to be perfect for me. This is a example of how you would trace line work to show the path of a walk that I took. And then for some reason I think it's supposed to click and close on its own, but it doesn't do that for me, so I'm just going to click there, and then I'm going to click onto the last point one more time, which means that it will end editing or creating this feature. The nice thing about GeoJSON is it shows you the JSON right away. So if I copy the first point and scroll down to the bottom and paste it into the last point, now you'll see that the line has closed in my route, and the route is now all set. If I made some edits, like for example, I didn't really center this very well, I can click this edit button, and then I can move these points out to here. And much like I had done before, so I can hit the save button. Now the visual editor is done. Just like I had done before, this time I'm going to grab the last point, and I'm going to replace it with the first point, closing my loop. Now I can also hit the edit button and just go around, and wherever I create a line segment, I can grab the vertex, and you'll see that they have a really neat way of dealing with adding extra vertexes. They basically, at the center point of all the lines that exist, they put in a little toggle or a little handle so you can control that line, and you can create a new line segment just by grabbing that center one. So if I'm making this a little cleaner, just going back through, maybe I'm zoomed in a little closer than I was when I first created this data just a few moments ago. Go in and I can just go ahead and edit these little points. So this is the walk that I took, and I want that towards the center of the middle line, so I'm just tracing the roads. I believe the road here is it's Mapbox, so it's OpenStreetMap roads. I mean, I can switch. GeoJSON lets you switch your base maps if you want. They have a couple of different base map options, including satellite, and these are not seem to be working for me right now. Satellite and Mapbox seem to work. I'm going to stick with Mapbox here. I'm pretty sure they use OpenStreetMap data, which is perfectly fine. Just going to grab this, bring it towards the center. That's close enough for me. There's no snapping because it's using it as a base map. So it's sort of like the base map isn't really actual vector lines, so there's no snapping to the lines itself. But this is good enough for making a map of where I was walking. And if I want to clean it up, I mean, you don't have to clean up your line work this much if you don't want to. I like to go through and make sure my line work is as accurate as I can get it, within a few minutes. This map is a personal project of paying attention to where I go and see how many miles I get my walking, as well as being able to being able to just see a map of all the roads that I've walked down. It's actually a project that a friend of mine started, and I thought it was a good idea. It's kind of fun to see how many roads I've walked down and continue to try to walk down more roads in my neighborhood. So now I'm done with my edits. I can hit the save button again. I'm just going to zoom out. And let's see if I click on to the actual line. Cancel. Click onto the line. That doesn't seem to get me anywhere. If I click on so in here, it doesn't have a table yet, but we'll go ahead and add some attributes to this line feature. So I'm going to click onto this line again, and you'll see now it's giving me options for cartography or for symbology, depending on who you talk to. I'm going to go ahead and make this an orange line. I'm going to make the stroke width about 6. And the opacity I'm going to turn to 0.5. Let's just make this 10, so that way it's nice and big. And I'm going to save. And now you see that this is the area that I was walking. Another cool thing that it does for you right away is if you click on this info button, it gives you statistics or it gives you information about the actual feature based on the line work you've drawn. So this is a 2.15 mile walk, or 3.46 kilometer walk that I took. I did this one yesterday morning, or no, yeah, either yesterday morning or this morning. I can't remember anymore. And so as you're building the entire geometry, you'll see it's collecting all the information on this side of the screen, and you'll see it's doing this in GeoJSON format. So you could literally copy paste right from here into a text file, and that's a GeoJSON file right there. You can also, oops, my wife is asking me to do a favor. Our dog is having issues, and he needs some boiled chicken, so I'll be doing that in a little bit. Then let's see if because I added that symbology or cartography, it went ahead and added that as different columns of information. And we can add a new column. Let's just say date. And in this date column, we can say 2016. What was yesterday's date? 0329. And I can keep adding more columns, which is pretty usual for a basic geometry file. It gives you the chance to save this in many different formats. The ones that are most useful for working here actually are to save it either as a GeoJSON, or you can actually save it as a gist file. So gist isn't a file; it's actually a place on GitHub that online through GitHub that you can just save to. It'll make an anonymous one for you, and this will give you the ability to publish your map right away. You can give people this URL. It's an anonymous user URL, but it'll save this for you. So if you give somebody this, they can go and take a look at your map, and they can also see your attributes here. In this case, the only attribute we have put in here is date. But if you had more features, you could do that there as well. So that's the first. This is the end of the first screen capture. Yeah. Demo. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I was trying out GeoJSON. Just to show you one other thing here. So if we go back to GeoJSON before I finish off here. .io. I've got to learn how to type too. That helps. And I go to open, and it says I want to open a gist. Oh, it wants you to authenticate. So you can log in with your GitHub account credentials here, and that'll get you there. But let me just show you here. If I go back to this map that I had created before, and I have this URL, I can actually grab the data here. I just hit the raw button on the button here. I can grab that piece of information, and I can just copy and paste it in here, and now I'm ready to start again and do more editing or share this however I want. It's really nice to use GeoJSON because it's very simple text. Yeah, So I hope you enjoyed this little demo of GeoJSON, and I will probably posting a couple more of these up, at least doing one a month of a demo of some sort of tool. Sometimes free, sometimes not free. In this case, it's free, and I find the free ones are very useful because anybody can use them and you can get going right away. So, great. Have a great one, and thanks for watching.